Oh yeah.
Fuck. Fuck. This pace is pretty much dog shit.
Oh yeah.
Yo, what's up, Jordan? Thanks for the good luck. How did your runs go?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Same here.
UX.
Incoming web transmission.
Hello, hello. Alright, let's see how I can do this the way I want to. ScumVM. Ah, sounds good. Well, it's a little bit late, but I decided I'm going to go ahead and do one of those streaming things, whatever they call it. Let me check the volume levels. Is this loud? Let's turn it down a bit. That should be reasonable, I think. Okie dokie. I won't be able to look at chat. So give me a second on this. What the hell's on my phone? Oops. How do I do this? Oh, I still can't get used to this new app. It's ridiculous. We're just gonna do that. There we go. Oh, come on, hide the chat. How do you do that? How do you hide chat? Oh, this app sucks, dude. Alright. So, long story short, Dark Shots finally set up, finally. I say that like I've been pestering him or something. That's not the case. He set up individual levels. So, in lieu of waiting until after Ripper, I'm going to do a little bit of this. Just to drop in a late night stream or something like that. You know, for freaking funsies. Okay, I'm going to turn it down a bit. This game is loud as hell. From what the audio levels look like. Alright, give me just a second. Let me test it. Okay, I think this should be more reasonable. If you think so. Anyone that's watching, let me know. I've also got to set up live split so I can make sure to be able to see it. Let's see, window capture. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna increase the size of that by a good bit. Cover my me logo. I did tell TX Magic Mike I was gonna display stuff. I'm not gonna do it just right yet. Okay, so first things first, I'm gonna figure out what I need to do to complete the chapter, the bare minimum. I know Dark Shots was doing a bit of this earlier, but I was also at work, so I was having to divide my attention. Okay, first let me edit these, edit the splits. Okay, we should have the... Okay, I should be able to set a new setup. So let's do this. Phantasmagoria. Okay, it doesn't have individual levels yet. IL, day 1. Let me see what it says in speedrun. IL any percent, chapter 1 only. Okay. IL any percent, chapter 1 only. Okay, how does that fit? And then that means the rest of these can be deleted. Let's see, mid segment, 1 second. Okay, how do I clear all this out? Pimps, 0. There's summer best. Other clear times. Other clear history. There we go. Okay, so that's all set. Okay. Cool. Let me see how that looks on OBS. Looks phantasmagoric. Let me check on here. Oh, hey, Detective Banana. I'm sorry, I was trying to do all this so I couldn't see the chat. That's right, you're the official hint keeper. A box of matches. A $5 bill. Which that's actually a good one I did. Let me drop it here in chat. Of course, you have to be subbed to Bloomaloo to get it. Because that's who I gave it to. But see, the $5 bill, it's the best. Because you could just easily rip the sprite, right? Because, I mean, it's literally just a thing on a black background. So easy to rip. So pretty much any item in the game you can rip like that. Boom. Start new game. I'm going to name this... There we go. Very nice. Okay. Done. Alright. Let me get back into speedrunner mindset. Blah, blah, blah. And let me also put my phone so I can actually see what's going on with chat. Yeah, because I had convinced... Well, first off, I bought Phantasmagoria and Phantasmagoria 2 for Bloom, and I forced him to play it. I didn't actually force him, but I like to say I did, because it makes me sound horrible. Alright. Alright. Well, hold on. First, I'm going to do just a dry run. So do that. Click exit 1. Okay, so I don't need the matches because you don't need the hammer to finish chapter 1. So then I go there, 2, 2, go down 1, 2. Gotta try to open the door, 1. Okay. Gotta go outside. And then, gotta go to the town. Okay, cool. Go to the right, because that's where, Robert Tompkins is. Gotta make sure to skip it. Talk to him, call him a jerk. Snatch that key, and get the hell out of there. 2. Go to the house. Go to the right. I gotta go down here. Slap that key in the door. Put that stuff back in my inventory. Yeah, so I can do that. Make sure it's on that side. Steal that thing. I gotta go up. Go there. Okay, so Oh, it's a letter opener. And then put it there. Put it there, pal. Go. And then that's where I end it. Okay, so then I gotta quit. Quit. Leave market prior location. Okay, cool. Cool. Oh, no, Mr. Whatever your name is. I don't think you have cheap viewers. So you go bye-bye. I don't think those viewers were that cheap. Actually, you know what? The economy's kind of bad. I can't afford cheap viewers. I can only afford the free viewers. Sorry, bud. I'm also drinking a little bit of the alcohol, but I'm not really inebriated at all, so my judgment is only a little bit impaired. Alright. So, I'm gonna do one more dry run. Done. And go. Okay, escape, exit, 1, 2. Okay, click 1, 2. Click 1, 2. Click 1, 2. Click 1, 1, 2. Click 1, 2. Click 1, 2. Click 1, 2. 3. Okay, 2. 1, 2. Then you gotta make sure to go down there, and it's 3 times there. Okay, that's 1, 2. Go out. 3. That one's 3. See, that's the biggest thing that killed me on wanting to learn it, or wanting to do it do the primary, the full size run, is because it's kind of annoying that sometimes you have to do it twice, sometimes you have to do it 3 times. It's kind of annoying because, like, I know Phantasmagoria 2 has that.
Oh, it's a letter opener.
Has a lot of these transition cutscenes, but the difference is you skip those by just clicking the mouse or hitting escape. Here you've got to click the tiny little arrows, so in Phantasmagoria 2 it's much more of a quality of life thing. And it's one of the things I think makes it a better game, because then you don't have to like actively seek out. I know most of the time it gravitates your button towards the cursor towards that, so it's not so hard. But then, like, why even have the button? Why not just let them click it to skip, right? Or at least use escape, right? That's kind of my thing on it, right? So with Phantasmagoria 2, you don't have to watch the cutscenes where he goes into the living room, goes out of the living room, where he goes into his cubicle, goes out of his cubicle, he goes down the hall to the thing, he comes back down the hall to the thing. You can just skip all that, right? And it's more, I think it's better for speed running, for one thing. But it's also better just to play, because then you just click it. Or hit escape, either way. But here you have to click the little arrow buttons, except for certain scenes that are different that you have to use escape for. And some scenes you can't skip. And again, you know, there's the thing of, oh, has the cutscene of her going into the room, or have a cutscene of her leaving the room, and then the cutscene of her entering the room, etc., etc. It's kind of annoying. Plus, there's not really any random elements whatsoever to the, which is frustrating versus something like Phantasmagoria 2, where it has random elements, so it makes it more interesting to me. All right. All right, one more dry, and then we're gonna practice some. So 1, 2, down 1, 2, up 1, 2, over 1, 2, up. See, messed up already. How dare you do that, me? And then do not try to check the door again. 2. Then here's where we go. Up 1, 2. Click 1, 2. Also, I feel like the mouse cursor is less sensitive. Than in Phantasmagoria 2. Sorry, I just kind of blanked for a moment there. So I feel like I'm...
Oh, Tolero.
Okay. Ooh, a little bit of chest pain. Let me, give me just 1 second. Game options. Hey, bud, take me to game options. Okay, so there's no way to adjust that. Unless it's done by global options, okay. I just don't feel like the mouse cursor is sensitive enough. So you end up having to like move it a lot more than you would for something like Phantasmagoria 2. I'm just gonna scoot my desk stuff around a bit. Try to get in a more comfortable position before I try to actually do a run. Okay. Try. There you go. That was accidental, but it's awesome. Okay. Okay, and... Okay, exit, down, up. Okay, over, down. Okay, come on. Okay, come on. Come on. Go to the car, you asshole. Come on, Adrian. Skip it 3 times. Almost forgot. Get the key, 1, 2. Get the hell out of there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, go. Go to the car. Okay, go to the house. Go to the right. Go over here. Put the key over there. Okay, put it down there. Also, sometimes the items return to your inventory and sometimes they don't, which I think is a weird element too. You know, it's that inconsistency that I find frustrating.
Oh,
Open. It's a
Tolero
ladder
opener.
opener. Close that. You put the thing back in there. Okay, go to the book. Come on. Okay. 1 minute. Quit. Okay, cool. How much did Dark Shock get before? Let me see something. Yeah, sometimes it honestly feels like it gets kind of stuck. I know it's not actually getting stuck, but it feels like... I don't feel like I have freedom to move the mouse, is what I'm saying. Oh, excuse me. Where the hell is Dark Shocks? Right here. Okay, so first off, I'm going to move this out.
That was weird.
I'm going to quit that so that we don't have the ominous chanting in the background. And so what I'm going to do is window capture, and I'm going to add a new capture. Browser. No. Window capture. There we go. Okie dokie. And there we go. Oops. I'm an idiot because I clicked that. So we're going to do this. Just going to scoot it right there, and we're going to move it below the background to make it look like it works. Alright, where were we? Full screen this. How does that look on OBS? It looks terrible. Nice. Oops. Let's not do that. Alright. I'll just leave it like that. That's fairly reasonable, isn't it? Also, I'm gonna... I almost forgot. Don't hate me, please don't hate me. I'm gonna drop that shout out there. Oops. I got volume playing. Don't want to hear myself. Yeah. So, of course, anyone who's watching, check out Detective Magnata. He plays a lot of awesome old games, a lot of point and clicks. And of course, anyone who knows me as a Ripper player would be like, hey, that name's a little bit familiar. Yes, it is. Plus, he's also collecting for multiple sclerosis. So that's awesome. Definitely go support that if you can. If you can't, I won't be mad about robbing a bank. I'm joking. Don't commit any crimes, guys. Please don't. Don't commit any violent crimes. Wink. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. Also, I'm gonna drop Dark Shocks a shout out. He is a great streamer. He does a lot of different things. He plays puzzle games.
So
He plays well, let me mute him real quick. He plays puzzle games. He does coding. He's got a cool cat named Crow. And he also does speedrunning, particularly of point and click games like Myst, Phantasmagoria. He's the world record holder for Phantasmagoria, and the world record holder for Phantasmagoria 2 any percent. So definitely check him out. So he's the biggest one I've got to fight against. Huh. But I do recommend checking him out. He's pretty cool. He's pretty chill. You know, of course, everyone who I shout out is worth checking out. So you could not check them out, but then your life's going to be worse. And I'm going to hate you just a little bit. Not enough to cause a problem, just enough to wish ill upon you. Not really, but skip all the Java. Ain't worried about no Java. He's got a good... Okay. So here we go.
thing is, if I now go to leave bookmark at prior location. Oh no, it's right. It's supposed to split. It's perfectly fine. All right, let's try that again. Fuck! No, go back inside, Adrian. It's too cold. Ah!
Oh, I forgot to check the door. Okay.
It really has been a hot minute.
Oh, it's a letter opener.
Oh, so he does it when he first gets it.
No, Adrian, where are you going? Adrian, no! Adrian! Okay.
You still got a better time than me.
This is not
So,
the finest work.
There's that,
Let's go
right?
back.
Let's watch this.
Fuck!
Oh, it's a letter opener.
So he does it when he picks it up.
There we go. Much
See,
better. Okay.
42? Okay.
Much happier with that.
Okay, cool. So his time is 42. Again, I'm not high on the
Okay.
leaderboards for Phantasmagoria either. Or at all. Like I'm 7th place. Out of like 10, so
So in chapter 2, what do we have to do in chapter 2? What we
Okay.
really have.
So I'm just gonna focus on day 1 right now. Cool. Cool. Let's okay, block that. Window capture. Is this Scum VM? Cool. Alright, back to it. Start the game, dingus. Here we go. So it might get a bit boring if someone pops in and you were interested in watching Phantasmagoria get played. Not just yet. Again, every once in a while, I will play the game out. It's a little off kilter on here, isn't it? Okay, that's about right. We'll leave it at that. I mean, I just did one try, so. Plus, again, he's the world record holder, so he's grinded out this game way more than I have. Okay. Let's try it again, shall we? Try to stay loosey-goosey. What did I just do? Okay. Oh no, I must delete some games. Delete. Yes. Delete. 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 Go to game. Ah. Oh yeah, Ion Jurdigus. Alright. Gotta get in the zone. Gotta fart. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Uno, dos, tres. Okay. Oops. Come on. Oops. See, it's stuff like that that really gets me. Where it's like, oh, this time it's not going to return to the cursor for some reason. House. Okay, come on, go in there. Key. The key there. Go down. Come on, go down. See, and it was slightly off. Okay, okay. Grab that.
Oh, it's a letter opener.
Put that down there. Come on. Come on, Adrian. Go. Come on. Okay. Okay. Okay, cool. I saved a little bit of time. Cool. I mean, it really wasn't much of a time save, to be honest, though. If I'm being honest, right? Alright. I'm gonna try something. See, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So watch, you go in here, you click, and for some reason it skips the mouse over there. It does that a couple of times in the game, where it skips the mouse for no reason. So, see, it's got to be down here or down here. So when I get the key, I could stick it down there so I could do that. And I could get that, grab it.
Oh, it's a letter opener.
Oops. Oops. Play. Okay. Okay. Escape. Okay. So that's how I should do that last part. Is, click the book. Yeah, that's right. Phantasmagoria. A baloomaloo. Or as they say in English, baloomaloo. Because it's a proper noun. And watch this. I can do this. Bam. He was playing a little bit of the a little bit of Bandicoot of the Crash variety. He was playing a little Brash Candicoot. He was playing some Bash Crandicoot. Because he was getting tired of playing Resident Evil. Ooh, look at me. I'm getting tired of getting killed in Resident Evil. Ooh. Yeah, that's you. You're like them apples. You're like them apple dapples. That's a brand of cereal. It's basically just Apple Jacks, but they call it Apple Dapples. So, exactly. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. It's addictive. You get into it, and then when you get like a good PB, you're first off the blood starts going back to your wiener. And then wait, what was I saying? Anyway, no, you start to get that energy, and you're like, oh, bro, I can do this. I can do this. You know. And you start getting excited, and you start getting addicted to it, and you're like, oh man, let me try this game. Oh, this is fun. You try this, and then you start like speed running a bunch of games, and you realize after a while you spent a large portion of your life speed running. It can be addictive when you're doing games that you enjoy to speed run. That is, the key thing that I say for anybody with that is don't make it about the accolades, because you don't want to try to always compare yourself to the best, because what you're going to do is you're going to disappoint yourself, right? Why is it so blurry? It looks really blurry. My splits, but whatever. Yeah. Because some people, I feel like, I don't know who, but some people do get kind of really, really, really tied on trying to be so good compared to other people. And I say to try to dial that back, because first off, it comes with practice. You know, some of the folks you're going to deal with, they've played the game 10,000 times. They could close their eyes and probably play it. You know, or do the fake blindfold thing. No, they've grinded out these games, right? Like, again, when it comes to me, I know Phantasmagoria 2 like the back of my hand. Of course, I'm not the world record holder in the any percent, but whatever. I know the game so well, right? A lot of other people don't have that because they didn't grind out the game 60 bajillion fucking times. So I can't, you know, so don't worry too much about not getting first or not getting 10th or not even getting 100th. The key thing is, what I think makes it most effective is if you try to beat yourself. You are your worst enemy, right? Because it's about learning and it's about doing better. Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. Like, I have a similar goal for Silent Hill. I don't want to be world record holder unless I could somehow get there one day. But I say it like this. My goal for Silent Hill is to get sub 40. If I can get sub 40, I'll be happy. Because at that point, you know, I know the game well enough. You know, I'm not willing to, it's not like I'm not willing to keep going, but it's a point of, if I can get to that, then I know I've achieved what I want to achieve, right? You know, so your goal, so you're going against yourself, right? And don't worry. One of the biggest things that a lot of people worry about is they'll feel like they become trapped in a rut. I always tell people, a rut comes before a huge PB. You're going to be stuck in a rut where you're getting the same time over and over again. You're like, you know, it's like, let's say that your PB is 38 minutes and something, right? And the world record is 32 minutes, right? And you're getting 38:45, 38:42, 38:39, 38:38, 38:40, you know, and you're just doing this over and over again, and you're like, God. What you're gonna find is that as you play it, you're gonna get these tiny little improvements, especially if you also watch other runners and do more reading and practice and stuff like that. And then, because it's not just about not making mistakes, it's about tiny improvements that you don't even think of. Like, instead of going perfectly straight this one way, you actually want to go at a 10-degree angle, which is almost no difference, but that slight 10-degree angle helps you better at this point, right? And you may not, and it may be something that you learn about and then try to implement, or it may be something you don't know about but you start doing, and it just works out. Because again, you'll find that, like, for example, Silent Hill, the biggest thing that affects that run is the movement. You know, even if you get first try romper, even if you know, have the route perfect, even if you do this, that, and the other, it's the little bitty movement bits that you do 300 of that make the biggest time difference. And so learning those, all that kind of stuff, comes together to cut your time up, you know. And again, it can be easy to beat yourself up. You're like, man, I just done 20 runs in a row, and I haven't even shaved a second off my time. It's like, maybe. It's not that it's like, is that the best you can do? Probably not. It's just, also some of it is having everything come together. Like this one time, let's use Resident Evil for example. This one time you got the fastest yawn you've ever gotten, but you also messed up in the lab. This other time you did the lab pretty damn good. Probably not your best time, but you also were slow on yawn. And so it ultimately keeps balancing out like that. So you get the one time that you do most of the stuff pretty well, and then you get that PB. Again, it can feel, I was watching somebody that Dark Shock's rated into that was playing one of the Indiana Jones game, the point and clicks, and he got world record. I watched him get world record, and he was like, man, it didn't feel like a world record, because it doesn't. Getting a PB often doesn't even feel like it, because you'll just be, it's like getting into the zone, right? You just sort of, it's just like you're playing the game. Yeah, you're not playing it normally, but you're just playing the game. And then suddenly you realize, holy crap, I just shaved 15 seconds off my time. Holy, how did that happen? And again, I was giving a lot, I was talking a lot to, oops, what did I just do? And I was, talking a lot to, oh hell yeah, that's awesome. Love Summoning Salt. An absolute legend. But, like I was talking to Darling, Darling I'm Scared, which I'm gonna, if I mention them, I should give him a shout out here. So that everybody gives them the love and support. Darling was constantly going through 41 minutes, cutting that down, and finally got to the point where he was touching the edge of sub 40, right? And I was like, just keep rolling, man. You can do it. I know you can. I trust that you can. It's, don't psych yourself out, but no, you can do it. And finally he did get that sub 40, and of course he's so excited for it. It's like, absolutely, you should be excited for it. You deserve all the admiration for it, because you worked for this and you put in the effort. And of course it felt so bad to miss it a time or two, right? It's like, oh man, I did it's like, man, that one section I did so poorly. It's like, you of course, we're not gonna lie and say that you didn't do it. We're not gonna say, oh, you did you did your best, or whatever you want to say. It's not about lying to yourself. It's just about looking at it and saying that I can do this, because you're gonna have your ups and downs, 100%. We all are. It's like, bro, the movie and TV show meme about the perfect like the perfect Benedict Cumberbatch character, because he plays like the same character and everything, right? Where he's the world's greatest at everything, right? That doesn't exist. All humans make mistakes. The smartest people in the world has made as many mistakes as the dumbest people, and that's a fact. Hell, look at Stephen Hawking. He's been long considered the smartest person in the world, and then there's that weird stuff that came out about him after his death. Of course, I'm not sure. I can't even remember the specifics of it and whether or not it was like 100% um, objectively factual, right? But still, it's stuff like that. It's like, yeah. And again, you can deconstruct every person, because every person that is a member of the Homo sapiens species is human and fallible, and they've all made mistakes. They've all made more mistakes than we all care to think. So, remember, you're human. You're capable of great things. You will make mistakes. Learn from those mistakes. Those mistakes are what make you you. They really are. You're going to fail sometimes, but then what you do is you take that. What makes a mistake? What changes a mistake from a mistake to a learning experience is taking that time to learn. You say, and this is true of everything in your life too, with your relationship. One time you say something, you and your SO might get, and this is to everybody listening, but also you, Bloomaloo. You and your SO might get into an argument one day, and you say something that's out of pocket. Of course, you have to apologize and all that kind of stuff. And then what you do is you take that and you say, I shouldn't say stuff like, well, hold on. In DBT, we talk about not using should and shouldn't because those are judgment words. Take the judgments out of it. You say, saying that thing was ineffective for my goals of the relationship, which is for the relationship to continue and to be happy. So, because my goal is to make the relationship happy, make it successful, it would be most effective for me not to say it. That's not to say you can't feel guilt or shame for doing something bad. You just have to do so effectively. Because some people feel guilt and shame and harm themselves in some kind of way, right? In fact, it's part of what a lot of as they say, for the censors, unaliving comes from. Guilt and shame for the things we've done in life, right? So you can feel that as long as you do so effectively. However, do let it be a learning experience where you say that is ineffective. And again, that can go to just about everything you do, your job. Oh, hey, Mask, how you doing? Failing forward, exactly. Yes, that's the best way to call it. I'm gonna drop that. Boom. I love talking about DBT so much. It's good stuff. I love it. Yeah, failing forward, exactly. It's the best way to do it. And again, you can still call it a failure. Your feelings are valid. You're allowed to feel bad about it. You're allowed to get guilt and shame and things like that. It's just important to do so effectively and use it as a learning experience so that it doesn't ultimately harm you. Because again, we've all done things that we feel guilty for. We've all done things that we would have shame for if it's either known or if it is already known. Things like that, But it's about you, right? I'm just rambling. Of course, that's the thing. When I'm not really, I don't know. But to also give to expand on the shoutouts for everybody. Darling I'm Scared plays a variety of games. Plays Tekken sometimes. Plays a lot of old school horror as well. Speedruns Resident Evil, worth checking out for sure. He is over the pond, so he's typically going to stream in the mornings. Of course, check out Bloomaloo. Plays a lot of retro games. Plays some new, plays some old. Depending on what he feels like at that day, of course. So definitely worth checking out. He's playing through the Resident Evil series. Let's see, what does it say? My favorite quote is, ever tried, ever failed, no matter, try again, fail better. 100% on that. That is absolutely true, and that is an awesome quote. I am going to screen cap that so I can remember it for later. And also, of course, check out Mask of Games. Does a lot of awesome retro stuff, playing through the Silent Hill series, which is kick-ass. And of course, you're doing cozy streams, along with a little bit of this and a little bit of that, depending on how Mask is feeling that day. So, you know, anyone, so anyone who's interested in all that, they're all awesome, everybody. You know, check them out. And it's again, like I said at the beginning of the stream, check them out, or I'll be mean to you. I'll come and then I'll point and laugh at your elbows. Check them out. Now, again, if you like retro games, which I do typically tend to play, worth checking everybody out. Let's see. All right. Let me get back into a proper seating position. I like to sit right because these games can be kind of stressful on your wrists. So, I'm trying to see if I can get down to a sub 50. If I get to a sub 50, I'll submit it, so that we have people playing the individual levels. And also, of course, anyone who's interested in speedrunning, who think they might be interested in doing point clicks, hey, why not? We need more people in the Phantasmagoria speedrunning community. Alright. Done. Dunsies. Oh, cool. Alright. Uno, dos, tres. Alright. Hit the escape button. Exit. Okay. Okay. Go. Go, Adrian. Click. Come on. I don't know if I'll ever get used to it. If I play it enough, I'll probably get used to it, but I feel like I won't get used to it. So I wonder why it does that. I wonder why sometimes it skips up. Go, 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 go. Go to the house. Come on. Go down. Go there. Put the key in there. Key there. Down. Come on. Pick up the thing. See, that's an example of a bad. Or
Oh, it's a letter opener.
put that right there. Go up there. Open that thing up. Put that thing there. You screwed it. Go down there. Okay, awesome. That was a better time. Cool. That was a better time, even though I kind of whiffed it a bit. He quit. Play book application. Cool. Well, thank you guys for joining me so much. Thank you both, and thank you, Detective Magnata, and of course anyone who's lurking. Absolutely, I absolutely love it, and I'm gotta double check because until I can get 2 monitors again, I have to look at my stream on my phone to see if anybody chats on YouTube. But I gotta get this set up because I had a 28-inch Asus monitor that I use for my Switch too because it has a built-in speakers, and it just conked out on me. I don't know why. Then again, I was using it like crazy, so. But I've got another one, so. Okay. Hold on, give me a second. Let me clean up my mouse thing. Hey everybody, remix. Alright. Enough of that. Enough jokes. Oh man, I wish I had my joke books with me. Yeah, this game is amazing. I love it. I love both the Phantasmagoria games, even though I prefer 2. But it's because I think 2 pretty much has everything great about it, right? Like, I think 2 pretty much takes everything that's great about this game and expands on it, with the exception of that it's more science fiction horror than it is this, where it's like mystical or fantasy horror, right? And it's also slightly less gory. It's got, of course, a lot of violence, but it's nowhere near as this, where it's got the practical effects of like someone's head getting twisted off and stuff like that. I can understand why people prefer this game, but I myself prefer the second one. But I think a part of it is the quality of life stuff. Alright, we got a 58. I'm shaving a second every time. Alright, let's go. Exit. 2. Click. 1, 2. Down. 1, 2. Oops. Doesn't mean. Oh, oh. Turned around again. Whiffed it. Still, just go, just go. I mean, the good thing about a speed run this short is that you can. Is that you don't have to feel bad about messing up and start over because you just keep playing basically. And you know, worst you can do is you know, do that again and again. Ah, all right. Okay, put the key down. Come on.
Oh, it's a letter opener.
Put it down there. Okay. Well, this one is a whiff bit. Okay. Okay. Book. 107. Oh, leave it. Oh, I'm sorry. I'd adjusted the volume some and I wasn't sure if they were good enough. Yeah, this game is kind of loud, so we'll leave that. Oh, I can't wait. How much can I? I'm gonna adjust this up, but I'm gonna adjust the game volume down some more. Actually, I could probably turn this down a little bit more because it is a huge difference. 42. Ooh, that's a bit low. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I think this will probably be a good mix. It'll make me much louder than it, but I can see the audio levels are reasonable. And the game doesn't have to be super loud at all either for this. Okay. Because, I mean, again, it's not like something that I can do with that, with the way the game is, it's not like I can do, splicing or something like this. I'm gonna try to keep, biggest things I have to be like, loosey, I have to try to be more loosey-goosey because I get kind of heavy-handed on the mouse. I'm gonna move this freaking wrist pad and try to move this closer to me. Alright, let's try it like this. Alright, uno, dos. Christ, come on. Okay, oof. I'm throwing myself off because I'm not used to using it without the pad. Oops. It's as much physical as it is anything else, right? Okay, come on. Go to the car. There's a little bit of muscle memory involved in it. Okay. Go there. Go there. Go there. Put that there. Put that back. Go down. Okay, pick that thing up. Oops, skip that. Go. Oh, oh, it's a letter opener. Put that thing down there. I'll put that thing down. That's a Yin Yang Twin song. Oh, my. Ah, come on. The hitbox. Okay. 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 56. All right. 56. Hell yeah. Quit. That was better if I didn't get stuck on the thing. Okay. First off, backspace. Cancel. Delete. Okay. Yep. 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 And yep. Cool. Alright. Phantasmagoria. That's correct. Hey, I'm shaving a little bit of time every time. Plus, this will be good to help me with the main run. Because the problem is my main run time currently is like 7 minutes. And the world record is 5 minutes. So I think I can probably get sub 7 if I practice it more. It's just some of the ways that it is kind of annoyed the crap out of me, to be honest. Give me just a second. I'm gonna take some water too. All right. Uno, dos, tres. Okay. Oh, messed that up. Uno, dos, tres. Click 2, 1, 2, click 1, 2, click 1, 2, down 1, 2, click 1, 2, click 1, 2, click 2, click 1, 1, 2, click 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. It's actually like 3, but 1, oh, 3, 1, 2. Oh. Okay, cool. Go to the house, Adrian. I did that wrong. Go over there. Don't get stuck on that thing. Okay, go down there. Pick that up. Oh, it's a letter opener. Put that down. Put it down. I wish there was a way to clear the cursor like in Phantasmagoria 2. Oh, oh. Fuck. I did it. No. Oh, it's still better time anyway. Cool. Cool. 55. All right. No, not chapter 2. Don't touch the fire, Adrian. It's hot. Ah, fire hot. Fire indeed hot. That's the only problem is that sometimes the cursor feels really heavy, and I don't know why. Not my mouse or anything. It's just, I don't know, mental block. Maybe I shouldn't be resting my arms when I do this. Tell you what, we're gonna try something else. We're gonna try to loosey it up, loosey goosey, a little bit of stretch. Because I also try to sit in a proper position and everything when I do this, which I should do more often. Get my posture up. Oh, I hope you couldn't hear me popping my neck just there because it sounded like I broke it. Alright. Alright, if I can get sub 50, I'm definitely submitting it. Uno, dos, tres. Come on. Come on. Oh, go there, Adrian. Go there. Oops. See, that's where it happens when I don't skip enough. Oh, I keep forgetting you can use right and left click for skipping. So, what I'm actually doing is I'm actually costing myself time by not doing that. Come on. Oh, shit. Come on.
Oh, it's a letter opener.
Put that down there. There we go. Gotta protect the Mac. Exactly. I mean, to be honest, a lot of people have back and neck problems because they don't really use proper posture. Um, Plus, a lot of chairs really are more uncomfortable than they want you to think. Like a lot of office chairs are actually terrible because I found that they give me a lot of problems with sciatica from sitting down for a long time. Again, when I used to do business, I got a small technical degree in business computer technology, and one of the things we learned about ergonomics, for every 2 hours you sit at a computer, you need to get up, stretch, move around for 15 minutes. You know, which sounds like a lot, of course, because work and other things get us used to sitting down for like 8 hours straight, right? But you really should spend 15 minutes for every it's either 2 or 3 hours. Someone can always check that for me. But, I mean, if you've been sitting for a couple of hours, get up, stretch, move around, etc., you know. So that's why, of course, anyone who's streaming, if you have the ability to, especially if you're on cam, you can always move the cam up so you can stand up for a little while, something like that. Just keep the legs flowing because sitting down a lot has increased a lot of people getting both things like sciatica, back problems, neck problems, and also blood clots in the leg. So it's very important to have proper posture, have a good seat, and especially, oh, yep, exactly, 10-minute breaks. It's good because again, sitting down for a long time, we're not really built to just sit down all the time, right? We're also not built to work ourselves to death. You know, it's not like you have to be a soldier and stand at attention for 8 hours straight. But you got to mix it up a bit, you know. And again, make sure that you got the blood flowing through your legs. Do a little bit of stretching, maybe do a little bit of exercise or something like that. You know, if you can, of course. Just a little something, right? Just to get the blood flowing a little bit, etc., etc. Don't be too sedentary, even though the world kind of wants us to be a bit. It's always good to get a little bit of blood flowing. That's how I like to put it. I have some weights at work where sometimes I'll get a little blood flowing in my arms because all this like light stuff, like using the mouse and keyboard and stuff, isn't all that, gets that repetitive stress going on. It's good to get something with a little bit of resistance to it, and a little bit of blood flowing and all that kind of stuff. I don't do it often enough. I don't feel like I do it often enough. That's the non-judgmental way to say that. Is that I feel like I could do it more often, but also I have a lot of paperwork I've been doing. An under desk cycle, I use it when doing air stuff. That's awesome. I didn't even know that sort of thing existed. I gotta look that up. Because I might need something like that myself. That's awesome. That would be a great idea. I'm gonna have to steal that idea from you. If I steal that idea from you, I know. My brain, right? Oh. I also want to add, it's not gonna be super long stream or nothing like that. I just want to kind of grind out a bunch of runs on this. Get like a sub 50 and submit it so that we can get the individual level stuff rolling. Because another thing about speedrunning, what makes a speedrunning community is people, right? You can have one guy come and run a game that nobody cares about, get the world record, and then it's hunky-dory, right? But then when you have more people, I used to live 6 days a week, but medical issues keep me from doing any of that anymore, sadly. Oh, yeah, I can understand that. That sucks. It can be really stressful. Like, again, I've got a friend who has medical issues where he used to work at Home Depot, I think it was, and he had a severe injury to his back. I think he slipped a disc. I'm not sure specifically, but I think he actually herniated one of his discs, right? First off, it took him forever to get through to where the workman's comp would actually pay him, and then trying to get this temporary disability was a nightmare too. Finally got through all of that, but the problem is it really messed him up. He had to get surgeries, physical therapy, and all that kind of stuff, and it messes him up because he can't do anything of any kind for too long. He can't sit around for too long, it'll start to hurt. He can't, stand up for too long, it'll start to hurt. He can't do physical labor for too long, it'll start to hurt, right? Because, again, your back is your thing, right? So, with that, like I said, of course, I get him to help me out with stuff and things like that, but we also, try to dial it back and, make sure that he's chill, so that he doesn't end it. It's a lot better than it was, but, still, it's one of those things. And it can be a nightmare, like such a small injury that can happen. And then especially having to deal with the both physical and emotional stress of dealing with doctors over and over again. If you have insurance, dealing with insurance, and then dealing with both workman's comp and disability is like, it's a nightmare of paperwork, bureaucracy, right? The devil. It's like, I swear, if you stacked all those papers they make you fill out and stuff in a certain way or to form like a tetragrammaton, right? And it would summon demons or something. Oh, it's a nightmare. Hell, I had one job that I went to where I pulled a muscle, but I wasn't sure if it was a pulled muscle or something herniated. But they never did an x-ray, CT scan, nothing. But but what ultimately happened is I got fired from that job for something else. And then so it never got paid for by workman's comp. And they were like, oh yeah, you can still get the CT, and the place was like, you can still get the CT scan, you just have to pay for it out of pocket. I'm like, it's supposed to be workman's comp, I was injured on the job. And they're like, no, we determined it wasn't workman's comp. It's like, how? You didn't diagnose it. So if you don't diagnose it, how do you know it's workman's comp or not? It happened while I was on the job. But of course, there's that too, right? Where they'll try to weasel their way out of it. I'm not saying they fired me for that reason, but I'm saying that it is a great way to encourage them to be stricter on certain aspects. Either way, as an aside, right? All right. Yeah, and especially the neurodivergent, because we can have trouble understanding precisely what they're asking for, right? If they don't spell it out in a way that we can interpret reasonably, right? Um, of course, sometimes paperwork can be very objective, but especially when you have to do any kind of interviews too, like when you go and talk with somebody, because especially if that person is particularly aggressive, because they'll start asking a bunch of questions and start trying to get you to say the wrong thing, which I think is also common in medicine too, where they start asking you a bunch of questions, sometimes super vague, sometimes super specific, to try to, well, okay, uh, never attribute to malice what can be attributed to ignorance. So I won't say that they were doing it on purpose, but it almost feels like, to me, like they're trying to trip you up into saying the certain thing so they can get away with doing this. Like I actually had one time somebody related to my GI issues ask me, well, what do you eat? It's like, you're gonna have to be more specific than that. I mean, I don't eat 100% handfuls of kale. Like, you're gonna have to ask more specifically, like, what did I eat today? What did I eat yesterday? Plus, I don't always remember stuff like that. Like, if you ask me what I ate last Thursday, I couldn't tell you. I have no idea. I can say last week I ate Mexican food, but then I probably eat it at least once a week, right? So it's like, well, yeah, that's kind of a given. But if you say, well, I mean, you have to be more specific, right? Than something just as vague as, well, what do you eat? I mean, well, what are we talking about? Since I was born? Last year, last week, since I've had this problem? What are you talking about? Because my eating patterns never changed. So to have this problem come up, it can't have anything to do with my eating patterns unless I developed a sudden allergy. But to get an allergy test, you have to get a referral from a doctor. But here's the thing is that to get that referral, they have to go through the process of giving you medicine first to see if it solves it. Which is annoying because I think it's possible I could have a food allergy, but I don't know what it could be. Because the only way I could figure it out is if I ate the same thing every day and to see if it changed or not, right? But I can't do that because I'm really picky about food and I have trouble having an appetite for something I don't want to eat, right? And so if I had to, like, let's say, eat McDonald's fries 3 meals a day for an entire week, I would just stop eating. I'd be like, I can't do this. I would just not want to eat. I'm actually am a victim. It's not really a victim. I am a sufferer, I'm going to say that, of stress anorexia. When I get super stressed, I can have zero appetite. Like in the times when I can honestly tell you, in the times when I've like been my worst, I got down to like 100 and below 130 pounds, and I'm like 5'10". So I was like starving myself to death basically, and I couldn't get an appetite at all. I basically lost hunger pangs. So when you get stuff like this, and it's like, it's hard to feel. Long story short is what I'm saying is it's hard to feel out uh, what what exactly I could be allergic to, because it would be hard to get myself to eat in a way where I could suss it out. It would be really difficult for me. Like, which also makes it hard for me to decide what restaurants to eat, because I'm like, to be honest, I could end up not feeling like what I think I might want. It depends on the situation. It's never really been a super problem because honestly, if I'm hungry, I can just eat and suffer through it. But I might not feel all happy about it. I don't know. Like, I don't like mayonnaise, but if I'm hungry enough, I'll just eat through it. I just say whatever. They put mayonnaise on it. I don't feel like arguing. Just whatever. Just give it to me. I'll like wipe it off with a napkin or something and deal with it. All right. Okay. All right. Uno, dos, and tres. All right. Exit to use the double clicks. Okay. Double clicks. Oops. Okay, I think double clicks are the thing, right? Because I think that's what's saving me a lot of the time. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I think that's where the time is gone. Oops. See. You have to move when you have to move your mouse to go to the certain area, and then you got to make sure that you click the thing enough times so that you get to the point that you're looking for, right? If that makes any sense. Okay, go here. Oh, it's a letter opener. Put that there. Go up there, Adrian. Go over there. Hey, open that brick up. Hey, go back there. Click, click. Don't look at the time, me. Okay. 57. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Another tip on speedrunning, don't look at the time. You will psych yourself out if you look at the time. Because if you're doing really poorly, you're going to go, oh man, I'll never PB. And then you're going to psych yourself out. If you start getting a really good time, you're going to be like, oh god, if I mess up, I won't get a PB. And then you won't PB. So don't look at the timer. Especially if the game is short enough. I mean, there's nothing necessarily wrong with it, but you can psych yourself out when you're on a good pace. All right, 3, 2, and chapter 1. Okay. Oops. Okay. Don't do the thing yet. Okay. Go over here. I guess stop trying to press escape because I don't think it's helping. Okay. I mean, I have to press it once I get to the end, but that's okay. Ah, I did it. Okay, there we go. Saved it. Okay. Key back. Okay. That is a tough one to not miss.
Oh, it's a letter opener.
Put it there. Okay. 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 Skip. 52. There we go. There we go. 52. 52. All right. Adrian. Adrian! I'm gonna pick her nose. Give me the boogers. Come here. All right. Wait, hold on. Hey, Bloom, let's see if you're familiar with this. A $5 bill. Look at that. Old Lincoln. Hey, Abe, how you doing? You doing all right? Nah, probably not, actually. He is a guy. As an aside to that, that's right, the $5 bill. One of the interesting things about Lincoln, of course, it's where the name of the Lincoln-Douglas debate, which is like the standard debate format that is typically used. So he was a great debater, he was a great speaker, but also he was a clever politician. Because what won the Civil War, part of it was the fact that the North had industrial capabilities that the South didn't have, and war was slowly becoming industrial, right? War is won by logistics, right? Doesn't matter how good you are at shooting the enemy if you don't have bullets. You can't have happy and obedient soldiers if they don't have food, and your soldiers can't stay alive if they don't have medical supplies. So, logistics wins wars. Hell, you can trace a lot of failures in Russian invasions into Russia because of logistics. Because the further you go in a ginormous country, the harder it is to get supplies. And then winter sets in. And then there's all that. And it's like, Operation Barbarossa. Fantastic thing to learn about. Hitler invaded 3 different fronts into the Russian, into the Soviet Union at the time, right? One of the goals was to reach Moscow, which was the center of their logistics, where their trains were operated from. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to be able to, get as far as taking it over. Also going down to Iraq to get to their oil fields, which Germany desperately needed. And also, there's, the big thing when you're spending logistics, oppressing massive groups of people, including mass slaughtering them. It's harder to fight a war on two fronts, to say the least, right? Logistics is a big part of it. There's a lot of factors to it, tactics, strategy, technology, all that kind of stuff. But logistics is huge, especially with how industrial war is now. What was I saying about logistics? Why did I get into this tangent of logistics? Hold on, let me figure that out. I can't remember. I started talking about logistics because now not into getting into politics stuff, but this is Lincoln. That's right. Thank you so much, Max. So whenever the South, whenever Jefferson Davis, who was the president of the Confederation at the time, would send any official, what do you call it? Communication. I'll just say communication. Any kind of official communication, Lincoln wouldn't respond to it. He would ignore it, basically, because by responding to it at all, that would give some recognition of his position as legitimate, right? As of the Confederation as being a legitimate state in its own right. It also helped that other states didn't want, that other countries didn't really want to recognize them. They just kind of were like, no, not our business. As the idiom goes, not my circus, not my monkeys. They're like, hey, look, we just want cotton, bro. We don't care about any of that. Just give us some cotton. We're cool, right? And also, again, he knew what generals were good. That's part of why he wanted Robert E. Lee, because he knew Robert E. Lee was a successful general. It's just Robert E. Lee didn't want to betray, as it were, his home state. Because one thing that was further back in is that more or less not being American as much as people were loyal to their home state, Of course, since World War I, World War II, and again, even up to the modern day after things like 9/11, hey, 9/11, right? Perfect time to talk about that. It's built this patriotic sense of we're a country, we're Americans, particularly after World War II. Rather than identifying as where their families came from, which particularly was often Germanic people, people started to identify as Americans versus German descendant, right? So the idea of a complete, as a unified national identity, was slowly, building from the old days where it was like, yeah, I'm an American, but I'm a Virginian, I'm a this, that, and the other, right? Of course, some of that still stands for a variety of reasons, but not in that same sense, right? Where he was like, look, whether or not he feels this, that, or the other, he's like, I'm loyal to my state, Virginia. I'm not going to betray them, so I will not side with you against them, right? Not to mention, there's also the family thing too. I mean, do you really want to start a war with people, family, or your friends, your loved ones, and all that kind of stuff? Which, of course, is what made the Civil War such a dark time. Is the fact that you had family and friends, brothers, fighting and killing each other over all this. But Lincoln, he was smart. Again, he also was smart enough to know not to fire the first shot, because you don't ever want to be the guy that starts a war, right? And that was a smart move. In fact, it was such a stupid move for the South to fire the first shot at Fort Sumter. Robert Toombs, who was the vice president of the Confederacy, up and quit. He said, fuck y'all, okay? He said, this was stupid. You don't attack them. You don't start the war. And so he up and quit. How Jefferson Davis got the position rather than someone like Robert Toombs, who had better experience and understood the political position a lot better. I don't know. I think I'd have to look up the specifics. I think, of course, it was like electoral votes or whatever. But it's like, dude, he knew it was a stupid idea to attack the North. He's like, are you stupid? And he was so mad about it, he just up and quit the position. He's like, no, get yourself a different vice president, you fucking idiots. It's like, it's actually really interesting when you get into it, like the different figures we never hear about. I was like, that's actually fascinating that there's that guy, that there was a guy who was like that. He was like, don't. And it's, I'm not really a history buff, but a lot of stuff in history is super fascinating. Like learning about the Yamato, and the fact that the Japanese were too afraid to use it because it was their flagship and and they're not an iron-rich country. And then the first time it actually really goes into battle, it gets absolutely BTFO by airplanes because it was at that point that the war had turned over from battleships being useful to aircraft carriers because air dominance pretty much was what you needed to win wars. Super fascinating, right? All right, give me just a second. I'm gonna drink a little bit of water and try again. Again, I'm not necessarily a history buff. And again, I tell everybody to feel free to fact check me on any of this because I may be remembering shit wrong, which happens all the time. I can barely remember my name sometimes. But that's the biggest thing that made Lincoln super interesting was that he was a great politician. He was a smart politician. And, it's part of what allowed them to win was by him being smart at what he did, you know. And we don't really get that much anymore. Stuff's more focused towards like being TV presentable, having quotes and things like that. Once the once the TV got invented and stuff like that, it became much more about image. I mean, like how many of our presidents have had beards since the invention of TV? You know, um, things like that, right? How many presidents were like avid smokers? How many presidents have been divorced? Because we used to have divorced and even bachelor presidents. Which one was it? John Adams, I think it was. The first John Adams. One of them, there's at least one of them that was a bachelor, and of course they would avidly smoke. Lincoln, he'd smoke a pipe. Supposedly he liked to smoke hemp too. Again, a lot of presidents used to have beards. Some have the big, crazy, bushy beards. But then now they're all perfectly clean shaven. They don't smoke or nothing, right? Again, because it's good for TV, right? It's presentable. But that's getting into a whole bunch of stuff, right? But it is interesting. All right, let's see. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, I read the screen. We know I can at least read, right? All right, 1, 2, 3. All right. Don't forget to double click, right click. Okay. Come on, Adrienne. I love Tori. She's super awesome. And again, also I should give a shout out to Conversation with Curtis. It's worth checking out to see her play games with Paul Morgan Stetler. Again, there's kind of a joke going around that she's good at puzzle games, possibly because she's smarter than Paul.
It's a letter opener.
She's actually is pretty good at puzzle games, so she's super nice. She's a fantastic lady. I highly recommend checking them out if you like her. If you like Phantasmagoria, 51, fantastic Magoria. All right, about that Terminator. So, for what Bloom is saying, let me also double check. There's no YouTube messages. Okay. Oops, I didn't choose to update. Never mind. So, what Bloomaloo said was, which trust me, I'm happy to have anyone bring up a subject that they want to bring up. So, always feel free, whatever's on your mind. Not to change the subject, but I will be watching the first Terminator for the first time today. Should I watch past part 2? I have only seen the first 2 movies. So I can't say for sure. I say there are things about the third that make me not really interested in watching it. And I have I've never seen the series, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, or any of that. I will say that personally, I'm not sure if I would be interested in watching any of the rest of it. I love the Terminator series. I think 1 and 2 are absolutely fantastic. I've got Terminator on UMD format, so that shows you that I do like it. which I also have Alien on UMD format and something else. I can't remember. I haven't touched it in a while because my PSP doesn't work right. The drive has gone bad in it because it grinds like a, you know. Said Epi told me anything past 2 ain't worth it. I would say that it's probably at least good to watch 3. Even though I haven't seen it. So hopefully it doesn't come across me being a hypocrite, but it might be worth it to watch 3. 3 does have an interesting aspect about it, which this is gonna be, well, you know what, I won't give any spoiler elements to it. I know it's definitely an older movie at this point, but you know, it's worth checking out. I think that it changes up the concepts of time travel just a little bit. Like it implies one thing from the first movie. The second movie changes up what it implies, and then the third movie changes that implication again. So the Terminator's never super strict on time travel, but I will say, obviously, the first 2 are going to be the best, right? I feel like that everyone universally agrees that they're clearly the best, and I think they're amazing. I haven't seen the other ones. I can't make an actual judgment call on that, but they are amazing. So, I am hard pressed to believe anyone could be worse, or anyone could be better, and that's true. Yeah, I think a lot of people have liked the TV series. I think some people have said some of the movies past the third one were really bad. But yeah, I think a lot of people have liked the TV series for sure. You know, again, I haven't watched the TV series myself or seen it, so. And hey, to be honest, I've watched some bad stuff for sure. So there's nothing. I'll say it like this: whether or not it's quote good or bad, it's worth it to experience the whole thing. That's true. That, well, hold on. When I say that's true, what I mean is that from what I have read about them, because I've read synopsis and other things like that, from what I've read about them, that it does get kind of convoluted over time. However, that's the case with time travel, though. Any time travel story is going to be complicated. So, to play devil's advocate, there's not a time travel story that doesn't get complicated at one point, especially when you make multiple movies about it. You know, because then it starts becoming a question of this, that, or the other. Well, what if they did this? Well, what if they did that? Well, they did this. Shouldn't this have did this? But no, actually did this because of this, because of that. Blah, blah, blah. In fact, I'll give you a great example of a independent movie that's worth watching. It's called Primer. It's about time travel. It was an independently made movie made on a super small budget. It's amazing, but it can be confusing because it's about time travel. But it's great. It's fantastic. And again, of course, the thing about time travel is because time travel is all sci-fi right now, we have to come up with our own concepts of how it's supposed to work. You know, the whole grandfather paradox and all that kind of stuff. But to be honest, if you have the time, I would not blame you. And in fact, I might even encourage you to watch everything. The TV series, of course, you probably have to space out a bit more, but it's worth it to watch everything. I've watched all the Jason movies. I love Friday the 13th, and some of those movies are horrible. Jason Goes to Hell, I hate. That is a stupid, stupid, stupid movie. In my opinion, right? And so, but will I have... I have heard of Steins Gate. I don't know anything about it, unfortunately. But I think a lot of people do like it. I just don't think it's like one of the super popular ones. Like, it's not like Attack on Titan, right? Where people are blowing up over it along with the other very popular ones. But I have heard of it. And I've never heard anything bad about it. I've never heard anyone say it's right. You know. But it's... what other time travel series are really convoluted? I'm trying to think. You know, even Back to the Future is not super complicated, but it can be a little... Well, even not super, but then you start getting into the change in the past and all that kind of stuff. But no, I will never tell you not to experience something, even if it's quotation marks bad, because sometimes the experience is worth it, even if it's quote bad, right? Hell, I watched all the Hellraiser movies, except isn't there a recent one that got made? I don't even keep up with it because after Judgment, I was like, I don't really care anymore. Which I feel like the Hellraiser movie could be amazing stuff. I've read The Hellbound Heart and The Scarlet Gospels, which I will warn anybody, if you like the Hellraiser movies, that doesn't mean you're gonna like the Scarlet Gospels. Because the very, very first chapter because the very, very, very first chapter of the Scarlet Gospels is well, maybe not chapter, but the first section of it is extremely intense. It's Hellraiser times 12, right? Because again, Pinhead is supposed to be a bad guy. He is an evil fuck, right? So don't take it thinking, oh man, it's gonna be like these BDSM guys or whatever. Oh no, it's ultimately a very interesting book. It has some interesting stuff where it does with the mythology and hell and stuff like that. It's a crazy read, but it is going to be very, very hard unless you are very, very able to deal with the body horror, gore, and all that kind of stuff. That's true, Mask. You are 100% right. Yeah, I just haven't seen the new Hellraiser. I'm probably going to eventually watch it, but I just didn't like I didn't like Judgment. Um, and Revelations was really weird in the fact that it was shot. I actually read it was shot in 11 days, and like, oh, it shows because it feels like that they used like the first take instead of like giving the actors time to get into the roles and the story, and it feels like a knockoff too. So, and then there was that one. It was literally called Hellraiser Deader, which Deader is of course is well, it's just a weird title, and the movie overall is really stupid. I think it's like the worst one, other than Revelations and Judgment, which Judgment has a lot of gore and has interesting mythology, but it's not really Hellraiser in my opinion. Um, but hey, I say watch all of them. Nothing wrong with watching all of them if you can stomach some of the stuff in them, because Hellraiser is a little bit further on the uh, Gorn side of the things. Hellraiser is amazing. Hellraiser 2 is also amazing. Even Hellraiser 3. I love Hellraiser 3 because the main two characters are fantastic together. Even though it does have some sort of knockoff Cenobites. They're not really knockoffs, but still, they're a little bit goofy. But it adds to the charm of it. And then the fourth one, for the fourth one, I'd say this. Watch the original and then watch the work print version or whatever that somebody made on YouTube, where they rearranged it to what it's originally supposed to be and then added in some of the scenes that were deleted out of it. And then custom made scenes that were originally in the script. Because it was originally supposed to be done differently, but then they decided to re-edit it to frame it with the sci-fi stuff. And it comes across as really the original version, the work print version or whatever, as this person called it, I think is more interesting. Yeah, that's true. I think it's worth it at least trying. Worst case, I like to tell people I'll try anything twice. Because even if I don't like it the first time, maybe I'll like it the second time. I tried that, like, a great example is the Thor movies. I tried to watch the first one. About in 30 minutes and I fell asleep. A year or two or so later, I tried to watch it again. Fell asleep again. I was like, okay, I can't watch this movie. It literally bores me till I pass out. Which I can be sweepy as hell sometimes, but it's just like I've never had a movie do that where I fell asleep twice while trying to watch it. It's always worth watching because you might actually really like something, even if it's something that a lot of people hate. You're like, I think this is fascinating. Because the reasons why you like it are valid for you. You know, of course, there's a lot of internet arguing, right? Where people are like, how dare you like this movie? It's inferior to. And I'm not trying to mock people with lisps, but you know, the stereotypical nerd thing, right? But like, how dare you like this movie? And I'm like, how dare you care? Like, I'm allowed to like whatever the hell I want, even if it's stupid. Like, to be honest, I'm gonna be super mega super. This one thing that a lot of people might disagree with me. I prefer the original Mortal Kombat movie to the newer one because I feel like the original did more for the series than the newer one does. The newer one is better in the fact that it's 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 got the gore that Mortal Kombat is known for. Um, some of the fighting is better, you know, and it has people actually having their powers, like Liu Kang with the fireballs and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like it's inferior because how much it changed the story. It doesn't really add anything to it in the same way that the original Mortal Kombat did. Um, of course, another good thing about the newer one is it does have Kano being absolutely unhinged, which is awesome. But then then they kill him though. So, which is a spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen it, but I'm sure a lot of people have seen it. But I generally prefer the original one because another problem that I have with a lot of modern movies is the rapid editing of especially fight scenes. In fact, I'll say it like this. Here's how you can tell the difference between modern movies in editing with Mortal Kombat and then the original Mortal Kombat. In the original Mortal Kombat, the actress whose name I can't remember that they had play Sonya Blade, she was actually more of a last minute replacement. More or less, right? You can tell that she is not practiced at all in martial arts, nor is she practiced enough for this movie because you can just tell because it's not insanely rapidly edited, so you can see she's not a martial artist. And the downside is, yeah, you can see she's not a martial artist. But the upside is, I don't feel like I'm having a stroke watching it. You know, or whatever. I'm not sure if what I said just made right sense, but I don't like having a stroke while watching something, which a lot of modern movies, even big popular ones, you'll have a fight scene that lasts a minute and it'll have 47 cuts. It's like, please stop that. I don't know what's going on. I couldn't watch the movie. I watched the movie Hot Fuzz exactly once. I could never do it again because of the way it's edited. And I know part of that is a satire of action movies. There's a point where you start satirizing so hard it becomes unironic. Especially when it comes to the experience, right? That's like if someone says, "Hey, you know, life sucks." Yeah, and they start punching me in the head. After about the third punch, it's no longer a satire of how life kind of comes at you. It's you punching me in the head. That's how I feel. I should almost change this to just chatting stream because running through this only takes a minute. So, all right. But I'm glad that both of you and Magnata, if Magnata's still here, and anyone that's lurking is hanging out with me. Just double check and make sure there's no. I can't stand the rapid editing at all. It's frustrating. Oh, good lord. Ah, a second. I'm gonna have my dentist check out this thing because I had my permanent crown put in on Tuesday, but my abscess came back. So luckily, I have an appointment with him tomorrow to check it out, possibly to drain it or something. All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay, okay. Oh, okay, good. Down there. Okay. Oh, come on. Talk to him. Steal that key. Get the hell out of there. I gotta stop pressing escape. I shouldn't have touched it. I touched my abscess and now it's hurting a little bit. See, that's the problem is when it feels like you have pressure. And so
It's a letter opener.
fuck. And that's another thing is that 2 also has where you can clear your cursor. Okay. 54. Which I thoroughly enjoy that you can clear your cursor so you don't have to go and put the item back in your inventory. But this game also has a limited inventory, so I guess that's part of it. But the funny thing about that is why have a limited inventory? That would make sense if this game was more like survival horror, where your inventory space mattered, but I don't think at any point in the game can you get more than what's in your inventory. Actually, let me get you guys to hold on for just a second. Let me get everybody to hold on for just a second. I'm gonna take some more ibuprofen because it's starting to hurt bad. Of course, I'm a huge horror fan, and nope. As soon as I sit down and look at it, no, no, no. They knew it. They knew as soon as I popped back. Of course, I'm a huge horror fan. It was only fairly recently I watched all the Freddy movies, the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. To be honest, I'm not a huge Freddy fan. I'd only seen the first one for a very long time, and then I finally watched through all the rest of them. But most of them are like good enough or like half good, but I never found them as interesting as the Jason movies for whatever reason. Alright. Let's try again. See if at least I can get a 50-second. I'll submit a 50-second also. 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah. Don't accidentally hit the P, please. No P for you. Click, click, click. Okay. Because the problem is you also don't want to lose time where she's just standing there because you're like clicking the thing. Key. Okay. The key there. There we go. Come on. Oh, it's a
letter opener.
there. Okay. Oh, skip. 5019. There we go. So I was able to cut 10 seconds of it. So if I can get 50.19, you know what that means? That means I can get, thank you so much, Mask. If I can get 50.19, I can try to get sub 50. So it's worth keep trying, right? Let me double check something. How long have I been streaming? I've been streaming 2 hours? Cool. Hey, darling, how's it going? I dropped you a shout out earlier. Because I was talking about speed running, so I was like, well, I got to give a shout out to the OGRE, LMG, ASPCASE, DNG, DND, RNG, USP. Anyway, I'm just saying letters at this point. It's going all right. I've cut 10 seconds off my time. Of course, it's been a while since I practiced this, so I've got to get back in the hang of it. And plus, this is doing individual levels, so it's different from the full speed run. In the full speed run, the immediate thing you do is get the matches, go down to the basement, get the hammer, because you need that for later on in the game. But in the individual levels, you don't have to get the hammer to complete the chapter. So we had individual levels for chapters 6 and 7 because they can be played differently when you play them independent of the rest of the game. So I talked to Dark about that, and I was like, couldn't we do individual levels for pretty much every chapter? Because almost all of them are going to be not exactly. Almost all of them are going to be different if you do them independently of the full run. You know, and he's like, yeah, grind out. He's like, hey, get some runs, submit them. And he decided to start doing a little bit of that himself. And he's also got other ideas from a certain chapter where you also run through the game starting from a certain chapter. So he's got a whole host of categories now of how someone may want to play it. So if someone wants to get into point and click speedrunning, hey, pop into the Phantasmagoria and do just one chapter. Things like that, and stuff like that I think is really good because the first time you play you try to speedrun something like the original Phantasmagoria, it's probably going to take you 15-20 minutes, right? Because you're going to be slowly clicking, moving around, stuff like that, and still trying to learn the run. Yeah, by the time you get down to world record pace at 5 minutes, you can grind them out like crazy, right? But when you get to like, oh hey, I'm going to play some individual levels, hey, you can grind it out in a minute or two, right? And so you can start popping them out, popping them out, popping out. As you can see, I've got 13. 13? Oh yeah, I did have at least one where I messed up on the timing or something. So, and I think that's always good to start with because I mean you don't want to be, well, to each their own, right? But it can also be hard for some people to have the time commitment to do something like, hey, I want to speed run Final Fantasy IX. That speed run is 8.5 hours. I can, well, once you actually memorize it, I don't know how memorized it is. I don't know how many of them are using a guide. I don't know that. I just know the time. Because I do watch some people speedrun the Final Fantasy games. That's a huge time commitment. So yeah, the top speedrunners have probably grinded out the game 300 times, but the sheer amount of time commitment. Oh yeah, like individual levels, pieces. Because like that's, again, and like going to Phantasmagoria too, realizing that it does have a difference. So like, okay. What am I trying to say? Okay, so with Phantasmagoria 2, you have the standard run, but then you also have the Easter eggs in the game that they actually score you on. So but what got me first into it was I was talking to Dark Shocks about it. So he basically helped get me into speedrunning, him and Dainty and things like that. I was talking to him, I was like, wouldn't it be possible to make a category for someone to do all the Easter eggs in the game too, since it scores you for it? I mean, you wouldn't really call it 100% speedrun, or maybe you could, but and it's something. Basically, the difference is you do the speedrun, but you also do these Easter eggs, and then you do all of them. You get scored on it, and then you finish the run, right? Because the only downside about something like Phantasmagoria is Phantasmagoria 2 is it doesn't lend itself to different categories very well. Because the problem with the different days, like if you split it up between the discs or the days or whatever you want to call it, I'm not sure there's much you could change. Because I'm pretty sure each day is pretty much self-contained. There is a photo. I mean, day 1 could be different because there's a photo on the coffee table that you... Hold on, I'm thinking. Tell you what. I'm going to do a few more runs here. Then I'm going to go to Phantasmagoria 2. Because I want to try something. I want to fiddle. I'm going to be like the devil went down to Georgia. Alright. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. No. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. You got to click on it, sir. See, it turns out that it's much more effective to play these games when you actually click on the thing that you want to interact with. That's a Z tip for everybody. Clicking on interactable objects in point-and-click games is much more effective than not doing that. Come on. I'm trying not to panic click, but I kind of want to. Okay. Okay.
Oh, it's a letter opener.
Put that down. Put it down. Put it down. Okay. Skip. Oh, hell yeah. 47. Now that's getting submitted. That's where I'm going to leave that. Of course, I'm going to send it to Shocks and have him look at it, make sure that's all timed correctly and everything. 47-24. That's room to grow, for sure. It can be tough because, okay, so I'll tell you, Mask, that's not unreasonable because the second place speedrunner for Phantasmagoria is a gentleman named Bernie Plays. So he's the second place, and the fact that Dark Shocks, like, let me pull it up to double check that. I don't think a new run's dropped out, but Phantasmagoria? Where is it? Okay. First place is 5 minutes, 12 seconds, and 233 milliseconds. Bernie Plays Games is 5 minutes, 13 seconds, and 233 milliseconds. And Bernie Plays has also been practicing Phantasmagoria again. So, this guy, the only reason why he's not the world record holder is by 1 solitary second, right? And so that's who he is. And he says, they probably would be, darling. I agree with that. But thank you for the congrats, Mask. But what I was saying was, Bernie... Okay. But Bernie says he isn't really interested in running Phantasmagoria 2. And the reason why is because he really loves Phantasmagoria 2. But to him, when you start speedrunning a game, a different mindset takes place on how you look at the game. And he doesn't want to go into that mindset where it's like very technical. You look at it, you deconstruct it, and things like that. He doesn't want to think of the game in that way. So not only so that is perfectly, so what I'm saying, Mask, is that's perfectly valid to say that you don't want to play a game 90 million times, uh, and other things like that. There's nothing invalid about not wanting to speedrun, you know. So that's a valid reason. Also, you know, the reason why Bernie gives for not wanting to do 2 is a valid reason. He's not completely against it, but he doesn't think he really wants to. You know, and again, it's also time consuming. It does take a lot of effort. I'll say this: it can take a toll on my wrists. I sometimes get a little bit of stress from it. Uh, like I would typically I would do Phantasmagoria 2 practice. I would do typically 3 full runs and then, you know, cut it, because by that point I would start to be hurting a bit. In fact, I have athletic tape wrapped on me right now. So let's go to the. Why is it tiny? What is this? Is this a? Is this Phantasmagoria 2 for ants? Why is it tiny? Okay, game options. Okay. High quality video scaling. Cool. Default. Default. Fit to window. Normal 5 times. Okay, let's try this now. Ah, that's good enough. Let me check and make sure it looks good on OBS. It looks good. Cool. So, you know, almost everybody, so some people like to speed run, some people don't. Some people are not sure and they might try to get into it, they might not. There's nothing wrong with it, with not getting into it also. Because some people might not speed run, but they might do randomizers or other things like that. Some people might do randomizer speed runs. Some people might do randomizer races. You know, how a person enjoys the game is not something I'm going to criticize for. Unless they, you know, enjoy the game by breaking the CD and stabbing their neighbors. I might say, nah, there's better ways to do that, first off. And second off, don't stab people. Unless they're attacking somebody or harming somebody in some way and you have to do that. But that's, what the hell am I saying? Okay. So, down here to the right, my mouse cursor is not locked. Alt-M. That's not it. Control-M. There we go. See, watch, he looks left, he looks right. He looks at the bathroom door. So, in a standard speed run, you go down here, open the drawers, right? Parents, screwdriver, granola. So, let's just take the granola, right? Exit, go here, door, down, and then... Wait, hold on, no, you don't check the mail yet, because you go in the living room, you go to Blob, hey Blob, you go down. We're not going to take the photo. So first things first, you're going to take the mail, Curtis, couch, pick up the mouse, up, up, down, down, down. I love, and I tell you, Mask, I love randomizers. And I would love to do randomizer races, but I'm not sure about speedrunning. In fact, I'm not sure if I would want to speedrun the Resident Evil series. I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm just not sure if I would. Because I'm also not sure if I would want to speedrun anything in the Silent Hill series but the first game. Especially 3 with all the out of bounds. I don't know if I'd find the out of bounds as enjoyable as doing the romper skip in Silent Hill. Maybe I would, because I haven't tried it, but something about it puts me off of it. I'd definitely be more willing to speedrun Resident Evil games, but I think I'd be more interested in a randomizer race for the Resident Evil series. Anyway, WinTech. Wallet. That's not the wallet. ID, X that. Go to his cubicle. Okay, you gotta log in. BLB. What the? I can't type. Co-op randomizer speedrun. Oh yeah, heard of that stuff. It is super interesting. I think there's a lot, especially the great thing about retro gaming is that there's so much interesting stuff. I was supposed to show my ID first. Is that there's so much that the communities have. Damn it. I'm supposed to show her the postcard first. I don't have to talk to him. And then I go to Jocelyn, harass her. Then I go down to the right, then to the right, up. Go to my files, go to work on it, see demonic visions, see some more demonic visions, get called a freak, exit, go hang out with Trevor. Hey Trev, how you doing? Let's go to the Dreaming Tree, have some $5 milkshakes. Then you go here. Oops. Go back again. Therese says she wants to sleep with me. And I go, really? Oops. Too far. Alright, let's go. Rat Boy. It's everybody's favorite puzzle. It is Rat Boy. Okay. T. R. Whoa. Y. A. That was a slow Rat Boy. He's like, it's time to go to work. Time to go to the Dreaming Tree. Oops. I just got to talk to her a bunch. He talks about ducks, doing it in the park, all that kind of stuff. I didn't click it on the damn thing. Oh, I didn't talk to her the third time. I gotta stop right-clicking. Sex scene and G to G. Okay. So, I think we could possibly do individual levels here. Let me think about something. Day 5 doesn't matter. It doesn't change no matter what. Day 4 doesn't matter. Oh, awesome. Hey, I don't do it often, but sometimes I do, and I decided I felt like doing it tonight. Mostly, one of the things that our homework for DBT is we do in groups, sometimes they give us homework, is to build positive events. And so one of mine is like, hey, I'm going to stream a little. You know, just a little, practice a little bit of this, and put a little bit into the individual levels thing. Plus, it gave me this idea to do Phantasmagoria too, so it's definitely worth it. I'm glad that you stopped by. You know, it's awesome. It means a lot for everybody that does stop by. If they talk or if they don't, either way, I'm super cool and happy about it. You know, and of course, like I said, other times I do stream where I'm streaming earlier. Of course, feel free to drop by, even though it's kind of late for you over there, darling. But I'm happy to see you. And again, I'm still trying to like set a schedule, but we gotta fix up some stuff like that. That is awesome. You're right, Mask. Thank you so much for that. I mean, like, that alone, it'll be a good primer to it, a good start. And especially because since I'm not even very high on Phantasmagoria, the first one, so it's good to get that far. So now let me think about day 2. Let me see. Thank you so much for that, for the GGs. Let me think. Okay, so day 2. If you do day 2 by itself, you have to get... Do I need the screwdriver, though? I absolutely, positively need the photo. You absolutely, positively need the mail as well. Wait, what? Didn't I grab the mail? Okay. Oh, my phone is shutting down. Hold on. Okay, I'll check back on chat every other minute or so. Let me think about something. Oh yeah. I forgot that one of the first things you do on day 2 is call the doctor. Because when you start having prolonged hallucinations, you should call somebody. Gotta get Bob's button. Wait, what am I missing? Oh no, I need to go to Wintech because I gotta get that key. I gotta get the key out of the boss's office. I must have thought it was a different day. Oh yeah, you can't check his drawer until you read the Carpe Diem thing, which is so goofy. It's one of the few times this game is kind of stupid. Because like there's almost no logic in this game that like has that weird moon logic. Hmm. Oh, I have to do other stuff first. Hmm. Let me think. Okay. Hmm. All right, so analysis, right? Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't see that because I was doing all that. Yes, hey darling, if you're willing to do it, there's nothing wrong with it. The first time Daniel tried to speedrun it, he did it like 30 minutes. So plus you'll get better as you do muscle memory. But so my analysis is that day 1 you can skip getting the both of the photos and the screwdriver because you don't need them for day 1. Day 2 you can skip the screwdriver. Oh, thanks for stopping by, Mask. I hope you have a good sleep. You have a good night. Let's see. So for day 3, you need the screwdriver to get into the toolbox. Sorry, I'm just trying to think. So my analysis is that the only routing change is on day 2. You then have to make sure that you have both photos. So you would have to then go in the bedroom and make sure to get the photos. Actually, I'll say it like this. Alright, the reason why this is different, I just realized it, than Phantasmagoria is simple. The problem is one of the fact that okay, sorry, I'm spacing out for a second. So the problem is that with Phantasmagoria, one, you can pick the individual days, as you can see. You can start from day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? There's not 8 days, but you know what I mean. You can't do that in Phantasmagoria 2. You can only start from the beginning. So we could do day 1 individual levels, but none of the rest. Additionally, the difference in routing for any other day is significant enough for it to matter, especially since you do have to go through day 1. So yeah, it wouldn't make any sense. So with that, I'm going to say that individual levels, except for day 1, is Bupkis. Well, all right. I'm gonna leave it at that because not only am I starting to get a bit tired, also this pain's starting to get a bit high. So I'm gonna try to take something a little bit harder for it. Thank you everybody for joining me. Thank you, Darling, Mask, Detective McNaughton, and Bloomaloo for joining me, and everyone else. Even if you didn't speak, I love lurkers because I also love yammering on for 90 bajillion years. So anyone who joined me on YouTube, absolutely awesome. You know, and so I'm gonna skeet on daddle. Again, if you guys like what you see, feel free to drop me a sub on YouTube. Drop a like if you liked the video, dislike if you thought it was stupid. Drop a comment if you have something to say. And on Twitch, feel free to drop me a follow. You know, I try to stream at least once a week. I've been running through the Resident Evil series, so if you'd like to see that, if you'd like to see my speed runs, a lot of Phantasmagoria and a lot of Ripper. And I'll see everybody later. Again, thank you so much for joining me. All right, how do I do this? I'm gonna do my intro and then close. Wait, hold on. Let's see about raiding someone if that's an option. I could raid Leave. Leave is awesome. Yeah, we'll do that. Send everybody on that way. So yeah, if you don't already know, the Leave ending, friend of the stream, awesome fellow. I gave him $1 one time, so that means we're friends for life. Now he's super awesome right now, streaming Dead Space. Hey, horror game, very good, completely different than Phantasmagoria, but hey, who's keeping track here? So yeah, again, if you're interested in that, you know, definitely join him. He's a big Silent Hill enjoyer, as you can tell by the name. So, you know, I would be appreciative if you wanted to join him. If not, hey, that's cool. Just I want everyone to have a good one. Thank you so much for joining me.